everybody, it's Jean here. Jean Truelove from Truelove Quilts for you. I'm not doing any sewing today. I am still recuperating from my nasty cold. It is no more than that. It is just the virus, but boy, really taken hold of me, but I do feel slightly better. I have to tell you, only the Trueloves, right? We are expecting some company from England coming next week. Ian's niece and nephew are coming. They're staying with our son Jordan, but they're coming for 4 days. They're going to be making the rounds of all of the family, and I believe on Saturday we're going to be having them. Katie and Peter, haven't seen them for a while. On their way to where Peter's visiting his brother. Anyway, we're getting our home ready. I did a tidy up of my sewing room. It's nice and tidy. Boy, oh boy, lots of thread and rubbish hiding in all of the corners, but I did a nice tidy up and some rearranging. So I felt good about that because I'm not doing too much sewing right now. I was working on my my ice cream cone border, but I've just put that aside just for a few days. But tidying up, my husband and I were doing a project on our front porch. We have a large front porch with a side porch, getting all of the chairs and all of the tables ready for company next week. And we had washed down all the siding, and scrubbed down all of the chairs, and we're washing the actual porch itself and just tidying up in general. And the weather started to take a bit of a nasty turn. You know me and rain and weather. Anyway, we came inside and had some lunch, and all of a sudden I look out the back, and boy oh boy, the sky was black. And I looked at the news, and sure enough, severe thunderstorms are coming through our area. And I just start quaking in my boots. I don't like rain, having just survived a disaster. Anyway, Ian is like, we're fine, we're fine here. And our porch is about 10 foot wide all the way around. And he said, the sky was clearing a little bit. He said, let's go out. It had been an oppressive about 89 degrees, and the wind started. So we went outside on the porch, and it was raining. It hadn't started raining like sheet raining or anything. We're standing there, and we walked around the side porch, and the house was being buffeted on this side, but we were over here. It was real quiet, and we couldn't, the rain wasn't hitting us at all. We were overlooking the field next door, because we live on a very busy road. And all of a sudden we're admiring our porch and how safe we are on this side of the porch, how it was protected from the elements at that moment. All of a sudden, Maxwell, Ian, and I did jump. We hear this crash, crack, like no one's business. And the tree, 10 foot away from us, a tree-sized branch, the wind cracked it off, and it fell feet from us on our front yard, which is only about 60 foot deep to the main road. It just fell. Take pictures of it at the end. Oh, and I jumped, and immediately, I tell you, I'm aged 10 years. All of this bad news. I jumped and screamed. It was like a gunshot going off, and then the almighty crash. We heard we felt the ground shake. Well, dear Maxwell, he was like, come inside quickly. Well, we round the corner, and it was, they didn't say there was a twist or a tornado, but the wind, the debris was swirling and the wind going, and I'm thinking, oh no, it was horrific. Anyway, we got in the house, and I just had a little bit of a meltdown. I thought, oh my goodness. But it was interesting because not as quick as it came, because it lasted about an hour or so, but when it did die down, we went outside, and I do have pictures. I'll put them up at the end. The tree, which we thought was healthy, which I don't know, maybe it's not, the branch could not have fallen any better. Did not fall on any cars in the road, did not fall on our house. It just fell neatly into our front yard, just like an angel guided it down, because I don't think we could take any more. Oh my goodness. So here we have this massive tree trunk, or tree in our front yard, and Ian goes out and he says, we have to take that tree down. And it's our huge, great big shade tree. I'm looking at it right outside my sewing room here, but if it comes down, I won't be here on my sewing room. It'll take out our entire house here. There's 2 other trees. We only have 3 trees. We have 1, 2 big, huge one, and the side one. And the other 2 are lovely. But what happened was we went out when it was safe, and Ian was looking, and there is a huge branch, and I will take a photograph of it and explain it at the end, over our power line. Now that would take out the whole entire community if that tree branch comes down on that power line, which fortunately it didn't. The one that came down beautiful. Scared the living daylights out of me though, and Maxwell and Ian. Oh my goodness, just what we need, right? So we called Pico, our energy provider, and they said they're going to come out and assess the situation and perhaps take that branch of this massive, huge, old tree down. So Ian said, we're going to have to get rid of that tree. And I'm like, oh, we live on a busy, noisy road. In our home, you can hardly hear it. We shut the door and it's wonderful. As I say that, there's a massive motorcycle going by. If there's trucks or motorcycles, you can hear it slightly. But our house is wonderful. We have triple glazed windows. We don't hear the noise, and especially out back. We just look out to fields. But the road is not heavily traveled, but it is a fast road, and it's interesting. We live right, well, down there across from an elementary school. Twice a day it's very quiet, because right in front of our house there's a school zone, so cars go along 15 miles an hour. I sit out there I should film when the cars are sort of almost just sitting in front of our house, because down to the stoplight. Anyway, that was our exciting news. Oh my goodness, Maxwell was upset, but he did such a good job trying to keep me calm. Anyway, it had made its rounds, the storm. Our children about half hour away felt it, and oh my goodness, it was terrifying. It was terrifying, this weather. So we were left with the massive tree branch, and of course we have chainsaws and everything. So Maxwell went out this morning and started chainsawing. Apparently Pico is going to come and assess the situation, and they can take down the other branch. I don't know what we're going to do, because I said if that branch of this tree hits the power line, forget it. And they can be responsible for that, for trimming the trees over their power lines. So that was our exciting news. I could have done without that. Oh, it was terrifying. It was so terrifying. It was literally feet from us. We were still safe if we had been on the front porch as opposed to the side porch. But we're standing there going, oh, isn't it lovely? We're nice and quiet. Crash. So Maxwell went out with Ian and started chainsawing it up, all of the tree, trying to get rid of it, the debris and everything. But it was, I just have to tell you something. I don't know whether it's a phenomenon or not, because, or maybe it's genetic. Just a little silly aside. My mother-in-law, Hazel, who died when she was 94 years old, Ian's mom, had a full head of hair, and her hair was like a light brown all through her life. She never went white or even gray. It was always sort of pale brown, and not even salt and pepper, because it wasn't black, but it wasn't salt. It was always like a pale brown. My husband has the same exact hair. It's not white. It has turned a little bit gray, but just like my mother-in-law, when there is a stressful situation, which he should be completely white, my husband, we've had so many stressful situations, his hair turns, like, instantly, it turns white. It's bizarre. It's just the most bizarre phenomenon I've ever seen. And I took a picture of Ian when he was out cutting the branch with Maxwell, and is bright white. And he came in they were done, came in for a cup of tea and had a nice meal, and he was sitting there watching television, relaxing, and I looked over, and his hair was salt and peppery, pale brown with a little bit of streaks of gray. Within like 5 hours, it went from white. I've never seen anything like it. My mother-in-law was the exact same way. Some more often than not, she had light brown hair, but sometimes with a little bit of stress or whatever, her hair would turn like a white, just like my husband's, white, and then it goes back again. He doesn't color it or anything like that. And I was just like, oh my goodness, it's just a weird phenomenon. So have any of you ever heard that? I did hear that Barbara Bush, the older Barbara Bush, George W. Bush's senior's wife, had when she was young, don't quote me on this, but when she was young, one of her children had died, and like overnight her hair turned white. She always had that beautiful head of white hair. I've heard that, but I've never heard like within a few hours of something happening. And it happens with my husband. Some days he wakes up with white hair, and other days he wakes up with pale brown hair. It's just so funny. Just so that happened. Excuse me. I am getting better. I'm sleeping a little bit better, but this is a virus that's really hanging on. But I just wanted to say hello. I am working on my my embroidered blocks quilt, as I said, my ice cream cone border. I have finished putting those borders on, and I'm going to be sandwiching it and quilting it. And then also I'm working on my snowflake quilt that Ian has some ideas with that, but that's to come. But I just wanted to say hello, and I wanted to thank you so much, all of you, for all of your prayers, because we've had a pretty rough week with death and now a little bit of disaster, but that's just the life in the Trueloves, right? Sickness. Gotta laugh about it, right? The stupid tree. And now I'm going to lose this beautiful shade tree I'm looking at here. Mind you, it'll be less leaves for Maxwell and Ian to rake up, because it's a huge, great big old tree, and I suppose that's going to have to come down. Our kids will help us do that. Or maybe not, because it's very, very close to the house. It's right here. If this tree fall on my window, I would not be here any longer. Anyway, it was so interesting how the tree fell in that horrific storm. There are 66-mile-an-hour winds right here where we live, not just for a short period of time, but it was terrifying, and our tree bit the dust. Anyway, folks, we're all safe. Keep safe and well. Weather, we don't know. The weather is crazy. We don't know what's going to happen next. Flooding in Florida and everywhere you look. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. So please take care. Keep safe, everybody. And right, love from the Trueloves. Have a lovely day, folks. Bye.